Welcome to the Deep Dive from the Kenya Wantam Nauta Movement, KWM podcast. Today, we're embarking on a really fascinating exploration. We're looking at a specific shift in the Kenyan political landscape.
That's right. We're drawing from an insightful piece on the KWM website titled Why Cousins and Macuzo Are Gachagua's Loaded Bullets and Why Ruto Should Be Worried.
Yeah, it's amazing how just two sort of unassuming words have had such a dramatic impact on public discourse, on power dynamics.
Absolutely.
So our mission today is to really unpack these words, cousins and Macuzo. Where did they come from? What do they actually mean? Their exclusive meanings. And why have they become these potent symbols in Kenya?
Symbols that seem to resonate really deeply with everyday citizens.
Exactly. What this source reveals about Gachagua's strategy is, well, it's almost like a masterclass in bypassing traditional media, isn't it?
It really is. Just dropping single, raw words like cousins, like Macuzo. He's managed to instantly articulate these deeply felt public frustrations. It's unconventional, definitely.
But incredibly effective.
But-
Weaponizing slang, almost, against these established political narratives.
Precisely. And the source is quite clear. It doesn't paint Gachagua as some kind of mastermind or the leader of a traditional revolution.
Right.
Rather, it suggests he's found this remarkably direct shortcut, a way to articulate what Kenyans have, well, always known but couldn't describe.
And that resonates powerfully because, as the article points out, people are just tired?
Yeah, tired of press briefings packed with lies, tired of the empty slogans.
And that feeling of being insulted by the very people in power. It's like he's touching a raw nerve.
A very raw nerve.
And you can almost feel this new wave of communication just catching on like wildfire. It's definitely not polished, is it?
Not at all. Not scripted. It's straight from the streets.
These are the kind of raw, unvarnished words you'd hear, in kiosks, on WhatsApp groups.
Boda stages, especially.
Yeah.
It's the language of the people, really.
And it's hitting differently because it feels authentic.
It does.
So let's unpack these verbal bullets, as the source calls them, starting with cousins. When Gachagua first said it, the source says it landed like a slap. But clearly it wasn't about literal family, was it? The article positions it as this stark, instant symbol for money, jobs, tenders, and backdoor deals.
Exactly.
How did one word get so loaded so quickly? What's the analysis there?
Well, a critical insight from the article is how this word just sliced through the air. It instantly exposed this quiet truth that many people suspected but couldn't or wouldn't articulate openly.
Which truth is that?
The idea that all the peace slogans and unity talks are just smoke. That's what the source argues.
Okay.
It elaborates quite meticulously, actually, that behind that political curtain, the real deals are made between cousins, old friends, and childhood buddies from places like Sugoi, Cabernet, and Elgeyo.
So cousins became the ultimate shorthand for perceived cronyism, insider deals.
That's it, exactly.
And the public reaction, as the source details it, was really something. People didn't just nod along.
No, they started digging. That's the word used. Checking Facebook, digging out old photos.
Counting surnames, even.
Yes. Suddenly, every appointment, every contract, every promotion, it all made sense. It's like a hidden pattern, maybe always suspected, was suddenly made visible.
What does that tell us about the kind of collective experience this word tapped into?
Well, it highlights a really profound public disillusionment, I think. When you connect it to the broader context, cousins isn't just about tracing a family tree anymore.
No.
It quickly became the public's term for a widely perceived corruption network.
Right.
And what's particularly poignant, I think, is that in the public mind, this word has sort of evolved to mean betrayal.
Betrayal. That's strong.
It speaks to a deep sense of exclusion, doesn't it? Of opportunities being systematically reserved for an inner circle, leaving the majority feeling completely shut out.
Which brings us nicely to the second word. In some ways, this one feels even more pointed, maybe more visceral. Macuzo. The source describes it as backstreet slang, almost like a casual joke.
But then it adds, very clearly, it's not. It's deadly.
Yeah, there's a real bite to that one.
Absolutely. And the profound weight of Macuzo. It isn't about tribal identity, which might be a common assumption in Kenyan politics.
Okay, that's important. So what is it about?
Instead, the article clarifies. It refers to cliques, cartels, the people who eat while others beg. It's about class and privilege, really.
Wow. And the source gives examples.
Oh, yes. Chillingly specific examples that really resonate with everyday struggles. Things like Those who skip queues, who fly to Dubai for haircuts, who build malls with no clear business.
Things people see.
Exactly, who laugh when fuel prices rise, who smuggle sugar during droughts. It paints this incredibly vivid picture of a detached, privileged class.
One that seems to operate with perceived impunity.
Precisely.
So the power of Macuzo is in defining this new kind of elite, one that cuts across traditional community lines.
Yes, the source emphasizes that the Macuzo are not a community, not a tribe. They are, quote, the new club, the untouchables.
That's a very stark image. Almost cinematic, like you said, an exclusive, unanswerable power structure.
And this raises a critical question, doesn't it? How does Macuzo manage to symbolize both exclusion and this growing frustration with impunity?
Yeah.
Maybe even more effectively than official anti-corruption campaigns.
How does it?
Well, the piece suggests it brings to light that simmering anger. The anger that erupts when citizens see a select few prospering, often illicitly, it's perceived, while the majority are enduring real hardship.
So it's the ultimate symbol of being marginalized, left out in the cold.
That seems to be the core of its power, yes.
Now, it's truly fascinating to consider Gachagua's own perceived transformation through all this. The source suggests he was, deep inside the system and perhaps saw the rot or maybe realized he was being used, whatever the reason.
Thought about the catalyst, yeah.
The article highlights a significant shift. He's now speaking a language that just cuts through the noise, a language people understand.
Simple. Sure.
And incredibly viral.
And that virality is absolutely core to its impact. The source details how every time he cracks a joke, it travels. People make memes, they make skits.
Right, you see it everywhere online.
But crucially, this isn't just fleeting amusement. The analysis posits that with each laugh, the truth sinks deeper.
Interesting.
So even when the joke fades, the anger remains. It's an incredibly potent, incredibly effective way to embed a message into the public consciousness. Makes it sticky, unforgettable.
Like a Trojan horse for political discontent.
That's a good way to put it, yes.
So what do these two seemingly simple words really signify for the bigger picture, for the broader Kenyan political landscape?
Well, the source suggests they've effectively unlocked the door.
A door for what?
For people to speak freely about corruption and favoritism. It's described as more than just political education. It's framed as a fundamental shift in the entire political mood.
It seems to have given a tangible voice to grievances that were maybe just simmering below the surface before.
I think so. And one of the most striking revelations in the article is how these slogans contrast with traditional political slogans in Kenya.
How so?
Think about the history, Moi's Nyayo, Kibaki's Kaziendeli, Uhuru's Tuko Pamoja, even Ruto's Bottom Up.
Yeah, those official campaign slogans?
Exactly. The source forcefully emphasizes that Gachagua's words, cousins, and Macuzo, they didn't come from campaign buses.
Right.
Instead, they caught fire on TikTok, they landed in matatas, bars, and markets. This organic grassroots spread gives them this immense, almost uncontrollable power.
Something official campaigns just can't replicate.
Not in the same way, no.
And the source makes a really compelling point about memory, doesn't it? The enduring nature of memory in politics.
It really does. It argues that, come 2027, people won't remember party manifestos. What they will remember is the pain.
Specific thing.
Very specific. They'll remember the cost of Unga doubling. They'll remember the cousin who got the big contract. They'll remember the Macuzo who laughed while Kenyans suffered.
It's not about policy papers. It's about lived experience and the stories that explain that experience.
Exactly. And the source argues this is how elections shift with memory.
It's particularly intriguing how these concise, potent slogans from Gachagua seem to have effectively flipped the very narrative that propelled Ruto to power, his whole outsider hustler story. How does the article explain that dramatic reversal?
Well, the piece makes a very pointed claim. It asserts, Ruto didn't fight dynasties. He built one.
Wow.
A dynasty of cousins, a dynasty of Macuzo. That statement doesn't just critique. It completely undermines the foundational narrative Ruto championed.
Leaving behind this profound anger fueled by these very words.
Yes. The source is unequivocal, really. In its view, the hustler story is finished. It's a powerful indictment of what's perceived as a broken promise.
And the source goes even further. It claims Ruto's long speeches are increasingly sounding like just noise to the public.
Whereas Gachagua's one-liners?
They're the things shaping the conversation. What does that shift in communication effectiveness tell us about the current climate? How information is consumed maybe even believed.
Well, it highlights a critical challenge for the current administration, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Their apparent inability to control this narrative.
Yeah.
The article states it with striking finality. You can't kill a slogan with a press release. These words have taken on a life of their own.
They've become independent tools for public expression, operating outside official channels.
Entirely. It's a clear signal that the ground has shifted. Power is being articulated in new, unfiltered ways.
Ultimately, the source frames these words not just as commentary, but as potent weapons.
Weapons that compel hard questions to be asked all over the nation.
Questions like, why is fuel so expensive? Why are UDA MPs silent?
Why are foreign trips still happening? Why is the president building churches instead of fixing hospitals? These are the questions resonating now.
With ordinary Kenyans.
Yes. And the answers, according to the article, they consistently circle back to the same names: families, cousins, Macuzo. This isn't just political analysis. The source presents it almost as a blueprint for how revolts start.
Not in Parliament.
No, not in the hallowed halls, but in barbershops, in matatis, in group chats, in TikTok videos. It vividly emphasizes the grassroots origin, the unstoppable power of these narratives.
It's clear these words aren't going away.
No. As the source says, they've entered the bloodstream of the nation. They're part of the everyday vocabulary now for discussing power and accountability.
If you're finding these insights valuable and maybe you want to be part of the change, we really encourage you to visit www.wantumnotum.com.
That's right. You can create your account there and start sharing your own ideas that can help change your village, your city, your nation.
So just to recap, we've taken a deep dive into how two simple words, cousins and Macuzo, have really become these liquid bullets in Kenya's political arena.
Revealing perceived corruption, perceived exclusion, and sparking this powerful shift in the public mood.
It's a real testament, isn't it, to how street-level language can shape national conversations, how it can bring about a powerful push for accountability.
It really is. And the source leaves us with a truly provocative thought, a powerful statement that kind of sticks with you. When power becomes a joke, collapse is never far behind.
That leaves us to ponder the profound implications, doesn't it, when the public finds its voice through these unexpected avenues.
And the undeniable power of simple, relatable truths to challenge those established narratives. It's a stark reminder, really, that true change often begins in the most unexpected places.
Sparked by the most unassuming words.
Exactly.
So if this deep dive has resonated with you, if you feel ready to engage in shaping Kenya's future, we invite you once again. Visit www.wantumnotum.com.
Create your account, join the movement, and start sharing your ideas. Ideas that can genuinely help change your village, your city, and ultimately, the nation.
Thank you for listening to the Kenya Wantum Notum Movement KWM podcast.